this like this. So when we talk about the situation in the Middle East, I get it. There's unfortunately horrible pictures of children dying in Gaza and these other things. And everyone in Israel, everyone in America, every human being mourns for that, right? But the issue is like this. When we think about the next 100 years of planet Earth, we either want China, Iran, and Russia to dictate that future, or we want America and its allies to dictate it.
Well, yeah, but America is allies with Russia.
No, America is not.
Russia, Saudi Arabia, North Korea.
Okay, and I'm trying to educate.
Damn, she is fucking stupid.
I'm educating you. America is giving $300 billion of U.S. taxpayer dollars to Ukraine to defeat Russia. Okay?
Wait, what? No.
Yeah.
You think the Palestine? I don't know why we're talking about this.
I'm just saying, and please allow yourself to be educated.
Yeah, I know, but I know them giving Ukraine money, but that those funds down because of
Stop. So it's American interest is dedicated to Ukrainians being successful. The NATO is connected to Ukrainians being successful. So this is a part of the Western interest, right? Russia, Iran, and China are together.
और मैं अचानक से
जब नौकरी नहीं थी बेरोजगारी और मैं नहीं आएगा
the Middle East by empowering groups like Hamas, groups like Hezbollah, groups like the Houthis, and other sectarian groups in Iraq and other places. Right? So that's the reality of what's going on. So I'm not saying that everything Israel's doing is perfect, and I don't think anyone in Israel would even say that. Right? There's what's going on right now. But what everybody does understand is that there's an axis of evil between China, Iran, and in Russia, which also incorporates North Korea and people like this, that does exist, right? And so that's what we're dealing with. You don't have to agree with Israel, you have to agree with America, but nobody wants that ideology of Iran, China, and the Soviet Union with Putin to be the world outlook. Nobody wants that.
Okay, can you tell us the difference between America and them?
I'm saying that the difference between America and China, America believes in the fact that the individual has the ability to dictate their sovereignty.
I thought they invaded Iraq. They killed 1 million Iraqis. They invaded Afghanistan. They invaded all these different countries. If you're going to talk to it, look, I'm just telling you, if you're going to talk to an Arab, I'm telling you, if you're going to talk to an Arab or Middle Eastern person, and you're going to bring up China, you're going to bring up Russia, the people that are in the Middle East, that are fucking up the Middle East, it's not Russia or China.
Okay.
So you're not going to gain any sympathy.
But you asked me a question. You said, what is the difference between America and Iran, China, and the Soviet Union? And I said to you that we believe that the individual has its own sovereignty, meaning the individual has the ability to go and decide its destiny outside of the collective, and they can find like-minded people who agree with them, and they can create political parties that influence the collective government. That's the difference.
But America has never believed in that. That's why the CIA has killed many political leaders around the world that didn't conform to what America wanted. So when you bring up China and Russia, yes, China does the same things. They imprison 1 million Muslims. Russia invaded Chechnya. They invaded all these Muslim countries. That's not a problem. But when you bring up the topic of Russia and China, when we're talking about the Middle East, you're not going to get a sympathy from any Arab or Middle Eastern person because you're all the same. We don't care. This is a war between you. Hopefully you all destroy each other. That has nothing to do with any Middle Eastern person.
Well, that's not true. But Black Rabbi, the reason why he brought up comes full circle because there are multiple different countries that are funding Islam. you understand that? There's a lot of money. That's the only reason why it's still going on is because the money doesn't put into it.
I agree with you. A lot of parties are making war because the issue here is about ideology. And so even in this, most of the Muslims that I grew up in Los Angeles, right?
I'm sorry.
बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा करता भी अच्छा है।
Los Angeles, right? And so we have one of the highest
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but dropshipping is a budget-friendly way.
ये जमाना कुछ है
जब माँ मोबाइल रखने को कहे तो रख देना चाहिए, क्योंकि माँ के पैरों में जन्नत के अलावा चप्पल भी होती है। बात उसी से करो जो आपसे बात करना चाहता हो। यूं ही किसी के पीछे पड़कर खुद को जलील करना अच्छी बात नहीं। प्यार हो या चांद हो, दूर से ही अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि मिलने के बाद उसमें दाग नजर आने लगते हैं। और हम तो दिल के साफ थे, इसीलिए दिमाग वालों से हार गए। मत खोल, बात उसी से।
दुनिया में हर लड़की को कमाना चाहते हैं।
This is
Hey, you want to live in a country where you can be deported based on your beliefs, be deported based on things you believe? I don't.
How they had to flee in 1979.
Yeah.
Khomeini took over. And so when I see the issue of the Middle East, I see the Muslims, because I converted, became an Orthodox Jew, right? But I grew up, my parents were Muslim.
Oh wow.
with Quick Fix. You can tap right into pre-built, ready-to-bet parlays right from the home screen. And if you miss tip-off, no worries. You can play same-game parlays live during the action. Plus, it's never been easier to find and bet on the biggest matchups of the day. So you
I realized that.
Let me kind of set the scene. I'm watching it live on
Other questions.
CNN or something.
Yeah.
I'm watching this
This
moment. I'm not
It's
even
really
watching
awesome
the
that you're like good to know this is out. Yeah.
We're talking as a group because you're interrupting me.
It's hard.
And so the thing is,
yes, I agree.
no, I'm just saying you gotta be honest. And so the thing is it's saying that. So for me, when I look at the issues in the Middle East, I see living here in Israel, seeing the Palestinians living in East Jerusalem. I see the kids that I met at East Jerusalem. They told me that whenever Hamas out of the Palestinians' mouth, okay, out of their mouth, they see me as an African American. They're like, bro, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not looking at me as a white person. They're looking at me as a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's the power that the African American has. Everywhere we go, especially in the Middle East, they're like, oh wait, that's a brother. Like that's a black dude. Like he's from America. He went through hardship. So they embrace me. And you know what they told me? They said anytime Hamas goes broke, they shoot rockets at Israel so Israel could come out and take out the places that they shoot rockets at, and then Hamas goes and collects money for reconstruction. He said they told me it's a business model. The Palestinians told me this. Not the Israelis.
No, that could be definitely true.
And
But this goes on from like back on an empire. Like this wasn't always the most.
And white privilege makes you feel like
I'm not. I don't have white privilege.
I know. But fall back.
Are you white?
No, I'm just saying fall back, please. And so the thing is it's saying that the dynamic is saying that this is what the Palestinians are telling me, right? And so I've been a part of different programs with Israeli activists and even Palestinian activists that are working together to do things here in Jerusalem, right? And my only point is just saying like this: if I don't have a problem with the resistance movement, but there's a lot of opinions by the Palestinians about the future of the Palestinians, Palestinian resistance, all these different things. And no one knows about that in the West. They think all the Palestinians are complicit with what is happening by Hamas. And they're not. They feel like they're being subjugated by Hamas. They feel like they are put in a situation by Hamas and their ideology, the military aspect of Hamas. They feel that they are being subjugated by them, right? And the world doesn't know that. The world thinks that the Palestinians are complicit with what's happening here in Israel, and they're not. It's just that all the money is behind the resistance movement because the resistance movement creates an economy where people are generating hundreds of billions of dollars in conflict, right? And so that's what it's a business. It's a business model. But the Palestinian who's living on the ground, who's living day to day, he's subjugated by this, right? And the Muslims who are in the West, they think they're watching a football game. They're saying, well, who scored the most and who scored different? And the Palestinians that are actually living in real time, they're like, bro, why are you supporting Hamas? They're the ones who are trapping us. This is what the people in Ramallah feel. This is the people in the West Bank feel. Yeah, there's resistance there, but those people also indoctrinated. They're fighting each other.
Yeah, well, I think you're confusing two different things. I honestly